Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're one of the many new subscribers, welcome to my channel. I am so grateful. I just wanted to say thank you so much. The response to my latest video was incredible, and I really appreciate every single comment and like, and of course subscribe. And just so you know, this video is not something I do usually, but because of the current situation I am in, I thought it would be a nice video to make. And next week I will be back with my normal content, but probably only once a week instead of twice, just because. So, what am I talking about? Some of you might know. This is Cassiopeia, my kitten. They're both, I think, 11 weeks old by now. We're not entirely sure, but it's about 11 to 12 weeks. And she has a condition called Pectus Excavatum. And since that is a pretty rare condition in cats and puppies, I thought I make a video about it and share a little bit of my experience, because the experience as a owner or a cat mom to be prepared for this kind of surgery is so little information out there, and I felt, or do still feel, so unprepared. And that's why I thought I might share a little bit. Just so you know, in the next few weeks will upload basically the same video in German, because in German you almost find nothing through Google or YouTube. Everything there is in English, and there are people that don't understand English that well. And that's why I want to share my experience and the information I got from our vet in German too, so people know what was happening. So, Pectus Excavatum is a congenital condition. It's not really clear why it happens. The name Pectus Excavatum could be translated to hollow chest, something like this. And you know your cat or son, brother, sister, whatever, can have this, and it shows in a cavity in the chest. In Cassiopeia's case, that looks something like this. As you can see, there's a dent in her rib cage, and this dent shouldn't be there, but her sternum, it hasn't formed properly when she was in the womb, and because of the missing space of the rib cage, her heart is, or was, hopefully was, in the wrong place. In kittens, the heart should be in the middle of the rib cage. In her case, it was more on the right-hand side. And she had pressure on her heart and on her lungs, which we could tell when we were playing with her. She was out of breath way quicker than her sister, and that's how I figured I think we need to see a vet. And if I'm a little bit all over the place and weird, I'm sorry. I haven't slept very much since the surgery, and I had my second COVID-19 shot yesterday. I'm just a little bit more than usual. So I went to a vet here in my city, and the first vet said, oh yeah, we can do an x-ray, but when she's 6 months old. And since I watched a video from the kitten lady, because she had a foster kitten with Pectus Excavatum, I knew that you should do a surgery if necessary as early as possible, because then their bones are moldable, and at a certain age there's just not much you can do without breaking the whole thing, basically. And I went to another vet, and she said, yeah, we can do it, but that should be done later, and most of the time the animals just have to live with it. And then I was a little bit disappointed and clueless what to do, and I wrote a comment on a video from the kitten lady, and she responded and said I should definitely go and try to find another surgeon that might at least take a look at her properly. And she sent me some links, and eventually I found a clinic here, or it's nearby, it's about 60 kilometers, but I figured if it's necessary to save her, I'm totally in. And I called them. They weren't really sure what I was talking about, but they talked to the big boss doctor, and he has experience with Pectus Excavatum, and he said 100% get into here and I will take a look at her. And we went in, he took her and touched, and he tried to feel the cavity and stuff, and his exact words translated in English were holy shit. Which is not a nice thing to hear if your kitten is sick. But it was the case. He said her cavity is pretty big. And he was incredibly informative. He explained to me everything there is. He even explained to me why, especially in Germany, so many vets just don't know about it. Because it's so rare, and in Germany you usually don't want to perform a surgery on a kitten, even though in that case it's necessary to do it on a kitten. And he explained to me how risky this surgery is, because she basically now has a chest plate that you can feel it to around here, and into the chest plate there are the ribs sewn onto. So the chest plate pulls up the ribs. That's why we have to go each week there to check if everything is fine. And after hopefully 4 weeks, they can cut it off, and probably her chest will look almost normal, which the looks is not the important thing, of course, but the pressure on heart and lungs will hopefully be gone. And the problem is she's in so much pain. I wasn't prepared to deal with it. I wasn't prepared to how it would look if a kitten has that much pain, because I didn't have experience prior. The cats we grow up were healthy, and I knew she would have a lot of pain, but you're not prepared when you don't know how that looks. And it triggered some memories of my surgeries. I was crying the whole time because she was crying like this. Hey, I at the moment have no idea what to do. She has her painkillers in, and she's eaten and stuff, but she's in so much pain. I'm so sorry, my baby. I know. Oh, don't know how to calm her down. Baby. And that just broke my heart. It's just so hard to watch your baby, because they are like my children, and it was so hard to watch her suffer through so much pain. I was crying the whole time because I felt helpless. I didn't know how to help her. The first night was just horrible. She slept a few minutes, and then she had kind of a pain attack, and then she launched herself up and was just screaming in pain. It was so heartbreaking, and I figured the best you could help her, especially in that case, was to put pressure on her paws. She would sleep like this with her paws against my hands. It apparently did help her. And we started to cut some bigger socks because her bandages are pretty big. Hey, baby. And we... What are you doing? And we tried to get her something like a bodysuit, because she, every time she moved, she of course knew it would hurt so bad, but a kitten is not like a human. You cannot tell her, hey baby, you had a surgery, you need this to get healthy. She just knows every time she wakes up she's in pain. And she tried to rip off the chest plate, and that was so horrible. I of course I didn't want to film much because I was there to help her, but some I just wanted to document because there's just not much out there how bad it would be. Hey, no. Just please leave your sister alone. Go in there. That's a nice bed. This bed, awesome. The only thing I have to complain with this bed is that there's no bed in human size. It's just awesome. And yeah, she was trying to rip the chest plate off, and I just had to hold her legs so hard because she was just screaming and punching and everything. She was biting around her. She's never bitten anyone before, but when she is in so much pain, she just bites everywhere she can, just out of pain, and it's heartbreaking. And she a few times got me on my arm, but it didn't hurt much or anything, and I know it's because of the pain. It's not that she's a bad cat. And then we figured we have to do something, and we used a big old sock and cut some holes for the legs and cut the back so she can go on the toilet without getting dirty. And it worked very well. We have 2 of them now to hopefully be able to wash them. We had to cut the back because there was too much pressure on the bandages because they're pretty big, and so we could pull it down properly. And when she has a little less pain, because this can just float around a little bit, we have another shirt she gets over, an Iron Man shirt, because I thought Iron Man is appropriate when you think she has a chest plate to protect her heart. I think she's a little bit of an Iron Girl, and yes, I stole that idea from the Kitten lady also, but it's just too cute. And day by day she has less pain, but they told us she will get more pain later on, because since the chest plate pulls up the rib cage, there's always pressure on her skin. And he said it's like when you have someone doing this for 4 weeks straight, at some point the skin will break out and it will just be unbearable for her. We have to get at least through 2 weeks, better were 4, because as longer you have this thing on, the more permanent will the whole forming the rib cage again be. But they said if she just can't take it anymore, they will take it off. I have to watch her 24/7. She has to sleep in a crate because she's not allowed to jump anywhere. I always have to run behind her, and when she wants to come up like here, I have to pick her up and put her up, and I have to put her down again. And she's not allowed to play much with her sister because we should restrict as much movement of her as possible. Of course, she will walk a little bit around and she's allowed to play a little bit, but as I said, no running, no jumping. Which is hard when you have another healthy kitten that just wants to jump and run around, and she does. And it's kind of mean to always have to stop her. She cries a lot of times just because she's frustrated with us, of course. But she knows. Sometimes she's just sitting there and watching her play because she knows it will hurt and she's not allowed to. And it's hard. Dealing with that much pain is hard. I know how hard this can be because of my surgeries, and it's just especially heartbreaking for such a small kitten that just doesn't know what's happening. After her surgery, she was always biting her paw because she figured every time I move the paw, I am in pain, and that's why she always bit into her paw to make it stop, kind of. And it's horrible when your kitten is laying there shaking. Her whole body was shaking because she was in so much pain. But after day 2, it got way better. Tonight she slept the whole night. For the first time, the last 2 nights, I don't know, I was awake at 2 a.m., 4 a.m., 6 a.m., and then I slept during the day a few hours. And yeah, it's hard, but it's necessary. She's my baby. She will get everything she needs. The problem is it's crazy expensive. The surgery itself was around 800 euros. I was able to pay 700. 500 I paid myself, and 200 plus were from my subscribers. And again, big thank you. I created a GoFundMe. If you are able to help, I would greatly appreciate it. If you're not able to help, I absolutely understand, because I am in that situation. She will get everything she needs eventually. We won't let our financial situation get in the way of her getting healthy. That's not an option. With all the aftercare and painkillers and x-rays every week, we will end probably at 1,500 euros, which is so much money. As you guys know, I'm not able to work myself. I'm sick at home. I do YouTube, but the last video, because it was partially demonetized, I only got, I think, 2 euros or 3 by now. And it's hard. I just can't sleep sometimes because I think about what if she has to go into surgery again. Of course, on one hand, the money and stuff, but on the other hand, the pain for her. I just don't want her to go through this again, because it's horrible. It was heartbreaking, and it was so horrible for her. And Zina is just amazing. She plays with her so carefully, and she helps her with cleaning and stuff. So they are just amazing. But if you have a kitten that has, or a puppy or whatever, with a dent in the chest, go to the vet. If your vet tells you, oh, we can look at it someday, go to another one. Go to a specialist. Ask them, do you have any experiences with, for example, Pectus Excavatum? Because it is necessary. When we had 3 weeks, and then she would have been too old to perform the surgery, and the alternative was much more costly, or probably multiple surgeries, and more painful for her. So thanks to you and the kitten lady and my stubbornness, I found someone. But not every vet knows what to do. It's a rare condition. There are vets that just don't know you have to do this early. That doesn't mean that these people are not educated. It just means that there is a condition that they probably haven't been taught. and that's okay. That's why I wanted to make this video, to share my experience, to tell you, if you know someone, they shouldn't stop searching for a specialist. I didn't stop, and it probably saved her life. She could have died later on because the pressure on her heart and lungs would have increased as she were growing. And I don't want the lack of information out there to stop people from helping their animals, because they don't know. If the vet doesn't know, people probably won't know too. So I just wanted to make this to share a little bit of my experience, to tell you what was going on the last week. And I thought I could maybe help one or two people that have an animal with a similar condition or that condition to maybe be a little bit stubborn too and find a vet who knows what to do. And that's why I want to do this video in German too, because in German, as I said, almost nothing out there. And I will ask the surgeon of hers to do an interview with me, because he's an expert, and he's also said that there's so few vets knowing what to do, and maybe we can ask him to do a video with me where I can ask some questions. And if he doesn't have interest, I will just send him an email with questions. So if you have questions to this or something similar around kitten and puppy conditions, please let me know. Send me a DM, a comment, whatever. Just send it to me. I will gather everything and maybe try to get him for an interview. Who knows? I just wanted to thank everyone who donated, who shared the link to the GoFundMe, or anyone who sent a PayPal. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We have now, from my subscribers and the GoFundMe, around 370, I think 370 or 80 euros, and that helps us so much. So thank you to everyone. Thank you for clicking on this video, and next week I promise I will be back with normal content. Thank you, and bye!